Good evening. It is 7:32 p.m. on this 13th of July, 2026. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Commissioner Duffy.
Present.
Commissioner Adrianopoli.
Here.
Commissioner Clark.
Here.
Commissioner Frazier.
Here.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Here.
Commissioner Leahy.
Here. And I did forget, thank you. I did forget to announce that this is a regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners of the Ouilmette Park District. I also want to apologize in advance. I'm overcoming a cold, so I will be coughing and have cough drops in. So apologize for that. Can I get a motion to bring Commissioner Goebel into the meeting by phone?
I move to approve Commissioner Goebel to join the meeting via phone.
I'll second.
This July 13th.
This July
at
13th.
7:33.
At 7:33 p.m.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All against, none. All right, trying to bring Commissioner Goebel in. If we can get a hold of her, we will. She was going to call me. Hello, Julia. Commissioner Goebel, you've been moved and approved to join the meeting. Welcome. Commissioner Goebel joins us via phone. Okay, consent agenda 2.0.
I move to approve the consent agenda of the July 13th, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, a copy of which is to be attached to and become a permanent part of the minutes of this meeting. We will be pulling.
I think we got to second it, and then we talk.
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
And we will be pulling 2.1, 2.2, and 2.5 until the August meeting.
Just as a way of, I am polling these. We have a practice where if we have edits come in within about 24 to 48 hours before, we pull them so the rest of the board can review them. These are minor edits and really don't reflect any substantive changes, but we're following our practice here. So without further ado, Allie? Call a vote? Do we need to?
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call, please. All right, we are off to a great start.
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Adrianopoli.
Here. Or,
Commissioner, Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Goebel. Yes. Commissioner Leahy.
Yes,
Motion is approved.
Aggressive.
aggressive. Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath.
Procedure.
Procedure. Moving on to 3.3. This is the communication and correspondence section. And on this, we have, was there any additional communication or correspondence?
I don't have any.
None? Okay, doesn't seem. Moving to 4.0, public comment and recognition of visitors. So if you plan to address the board tonight, we ask that you please come to the podium and speak into the microphone. Each speaker will have up to 3 minutes. We'll notify you when you have 1 minute remaining, 30 seconds remaining, and when you're out of time by holding up a sign and giving a verbal cue. Everything said during the meeting is recorded and is broadcast live on Channel 6. Please note that the full policy for public comment is printed on page 3 of the meeting packet and explains the procedures the board adheres to in order to maintain a respectful and efficient meeting. The purpose of public comment is for the public to share their comments and/or concerns with the board. Due to time constraints of our business meeting, there is not time for dialogue. When possible, the board will address questions at the end of the meeting. If you have a specific question that's not addressed, please email the executive director. I'd like to remind everyone that we are a community of neighbors, and as such, we want our meetings to be civil and courteous as possible. Michelle, do you have the public comment sheet? Row. So we have a list.
2 on the agenda.
Agreed. We're going to start with our public comment first, and then we will do our recognition of visitors.
Just do a show of hands.
Well,
Speak.
we have, the order was
Okay.
a number of residents placed theirs in very early, so we want to respect that. All right, thank you very much. First on our list is Mr. Ron Pulaski. That's correct. Thank you.
Just a second. Can I? Oh, it actually works. Good evening. My name is Ram Paplowski. I have been a resident of Ouilmette for about 40 years, and my comments pertain to Gilson Park. These are my observations I mean, the park is beautiful. I mean, I've been playing tennis there forever, and it's like being in the Caribbean, especially when the waves come in. So it's really gorgeous. However, I think it can be made even nicer with small little improvements. The first one, of course, as you see on this picture, right when you pull into Gilson Park, past the Harbor Club, in the upper drive, you have this tiny little bump that essentially you could go over it 100 miles and you wouldn't even feel it. However, look at this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signs about the bump. I actually have a photo I'll show you later from Morton Grove by their fitness center and such. They have an identical one. It must be the same engineering. There's not even one sign. So my comment regarding that is it's clutter. Not besides the point that it kind of wastes a little bit of money for each sign that you have to put up. So it kind of distracts from the natural beauty. So that's one. Just a second. Oh, and the second point I wanted to make, right at the same place, as you can see, the yellow painted curb. Everyone could actually park there for the past 38 years, so to speak. But after renovations, they painted it yellow, which now you can't park there. However, there's no real logical reason for it. It doesn't abstract any view. And the problem is, if you go to any event at the Harbor Club, and let's say, for example, like I was hosting a graduation party, I had to bring some boxes of stuff and had to help a caterer. So I put the car there just for a little bit. I told a young man sitting at that cross section, I'll be back in a few minutes. If the policeman shows up, tell him I'll be back in a second. Well, before I scurry back, I already have a $100 ticket. So obviously I went to the police station, and the police station said, police people said, well, you have to go to the park district. So, the usual, go to the other side. So that's my other point that I would like to consider, because during the summer, there's a shortage of parking. Now, when you go around the circle, there's another section right by Wallace Bowl, 4 signs. If you look ahead, and then like 15 feet later, you have another sign. I don't think I think 1 or 2 signs would be the most that you could really need. Oh, that's a little bump from Morton Grove by the really busy section. It's identical because I got out of the car and looked at it, not one sign.
Ron, so we're 10 seconds over 3 minutes.
Oh my God, I just want to show you
So we
one
can
of-
do one thing. I would like, can you just summarize it in the next 10 seconds?
Okay.
And then I would really suggest you meet with Executive Director Lindgren and show him this.
Okay.
Very detailed.
This is my last photo right by the tennis courts. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 signs as you're heading out past the
Yes.
tennis courts. So my point is, it's a lot of clutter. It's useless expense. It detracts from the park's beauty. And I suggest you remove half of them at least.
Thank you very much. And
Thank
I would
you.
encourage you to meet with Director Lindgren. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, Alan Golden. Alan, when we... All right, thank you.
Alan Golden, 116 Laurel Lane. I had just a couple of things. First, I'd like to say that I think the Sailing Beach is running very well this summer. So I'd like to thank the staff and everyone who's doing, I think, a very good job. But I'd like to again reiterate the safety issue of people in the water in front of the Sailing Beach. I was there yesterday, and I only saw one incident where park personnel actually came down and asked a couple of people to leave the water. About an hour later, there was a large group, almost 10 people, 9 or 10 people, not in the private section, but off the north end of the Sailing Beach. No one said anything, and they were in the water for about 20 minutes. And it wasn't much wind, I'll grant you that, but there were boats going in and out. So again, I reiterate the need for the staff to constantly be checking the water in front of the Sailing Beach, because again, it is a safety issue. Boats coming in and out, and when it's windy like it was the day before, and there's a northeast wind and there's surf, And there's 3 sandbars now, so your rudders kick up a lot further out than they did before. You can't turn. There's nothing you can do. You're going straight. So again, I'd like to encourage the staff to be a little more proactive in making sure that people are not in the water in front of the sailing beach. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Scott Crum.
Scott Crum, 631 Lake. On November 20th of last year, I received a call from Commissioner Murdoch requesting a meeting to discuss his concerns regarding the Park District Board and its lack of fiscal responsibility regarding matters involving construction. The meeting was set for November 26th at Michigan Shore at 8:30 a.m. On the 26th, I arrived at 8:30 and waited until 9 o'clock. Despite numerous attempts to reach Commissioner Murdoch, he failed to attend the meeting he requested. He later apologized and the meeting was never rescheduled. Then in February, I learned the board is preparing to move forward on a proposal to design, not build, but merely design a replacement structure for what is commonly known as the sailing shack, which is a 20 by 20 structure. The Gewalt-Hamilton proposal for the design was $120,000. This proposal is equivalent, or in comparison, to the Park District spending $2.2 million to renovate a single-story home with a walkout basement, which probably cost less than $200,000 to build originally. $2.2 million for a house structure probably exceeds the cost of construction of 75 to 80% of the housing stock in Ouilmette. I know this because I've been building in Ouilmette for over 35 years. $120,000 to design the equivalent of a 2-car garage in both size and construction technique. A structure with no HVAC, no sanitary lines, a single water line, and certainly no unusual construction technique required, as most homes in East Ouilmette are built on sand and clay. I obtained a copy of the proposal and redrafted it point by point and submitted an alternative proposal to the Park District for $70,000. I designated $70,000 for a few reasons. Knowing if I put a realistic number on the proposal, the board would dismiss it for not being legitimate. 2, if it had a significant variation to cause the board to pause, it'd be too high, they would still pick the preferred vendor. It had to be enough to cover the actual cost. And 4th, I felt $50,000 difference met all the requirements to demonstrate with many in the community to see a major problem with this board. I submitted the proposal and then met with Chris. We had a pleasant conversation. I explained how I'd been doing work in the village for over 35 years, won international design awards, green certificates, done PUDs, zoning variation, public submittals, approvals, design and construction of projects well over $50 million in Ouilmette alone, both commercial and residential, as well as work on the lakefront. I also explained how we have used part of Gilson Beach every day and worked with the staff. Bottom line, the actual proposal for the work that Gewalt-Hamilton has approved that vendor before as inspected, $17,000. $17,000 versus $116,000 that you let the work for someone who you said was not qualified. And Gewalt-Hamilton approves their work on a daily basis. This board needs to be investigated and review their fiscal responsibility and their obligations to this community to perform things appropriately and properly. You can't claim you don't know. You can't claim that you're not aware. You're all aware. I'm submitting this right here. $17,000. Who wants it?
Thank you, Mr. Crum.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Okay, seeing none, moving on. Sorry? Oh.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Annalyn Christoph, 2009 Central in Wilmette. I'm on the sailing beach, and I'd like to understand what can be done about the lack of parking for people like us who pay significant fees to keep our boat on the beach and to pay for parking so we can access the boat. I understand July 3rd, crazy weekend. Yesterday at 1:30 in the afternoon, the lot was we were told it was totally full. They were turning people away. You couldn't even get down the hill. I rolled down my window. I said, I have gear I need to drop off at the beach. And they said, well, we'll let you down. I went down. There were parking spots. Other people on the beach came 20 minutes after me. They were not allowed down the hill under any circumstance. I don't understand, with all the technology that's out there, why we can't even monitor number of spots available at a given time. But the system we have now, I think, works a disservice to people who pay for seasonal parking versus people who come in who are getting daily parking spots. So I'm just want us to look into that to see if there could be a better system. Otherwise, I guess the response is all of us sailors have to get down to the beach at 8 in the morning to make sure we have a place to park. Thank you.
Thank you, Annalyn. I just want to make sure I'm not. Yes?
Ken Sohn, 2009 Central Avenue. In a follow-up to this gentleman and my wife, I think that the Ouilmette Park District is double dipping at times where they're charging those coming into the parking area on a weekend and they're going to obtain the $26 or $30 a day for the parking, where those who have purchased, whether it's a resident or non-resident pass, those individuals have purchased a pass, and those are the only people on a weekend that should be allowed to use that parking area, because it becomes extremely crowded from people from Chicago or far west or north or south of us. They're coming in to use this facility and paying the fee, and they're willing to pay the fee to have a parking spot closer to the beach. I think it should only be on the weekends, restricted to those who have a sticker, and there should not be a double dip, double pay, where the park district is collecting a fee for those who do not have a sticker, because it's putting more pressure then on the parking spaces. So thank you.
Thank you, Ken. All right. Okay, we're going to move on to 4.1, presentation for the New Trier Township. Chris, you want to tee off, or did I mix it up?
Township is here. They are one of our key partners and community organizations that are going to talk a little bit about the scholarship program that we work together on. And I know Michelle from our team works very, very closely, single-handedly kind of manages all of the scholarship families that we serve. And it's a great relationship and a service that is truly needed. And so we're excited to have you here and let you go.
Absolutely. Good evening. Gail Schnitzer-Eisenberg, New Trier Township Supervisor and a third-generation Ouilmettean, raising a fourth. For more than 3 decades, New Trier Township has invested in childcare and youth programming to help working families remain employed, pursue education, and provide safe, enriching experiences for their children. The Township's ongoing partnership with the Ouilmette Park District continues to play a critical role in making quality summer camp opportunities accessible to families who otherwise could not afford them. We deeply value our long-standing partnership with the Ouilmette Park District and appreciate the Park District's commitment to making quality summer programming accessible to local families. While Ouilmette Park District camps currently serve many of the children receiving township scholarship assistance, New Trier Township does serve 6 communities. Scholarship funding is allocated annually through available resources and applications received through the township. As a result, these funds are not a given, and cannot be considered a guaranteed and permanent funding source for any single provider, including Ouilmette Park District. We hope to continue the partnership for many years, and I want to hand it off to Jean Rosser, who can give you a little bit more detail regarding our current partnership.
Thanks, Gail. And I would like to echo what Gail said. You know, we are really pleased to be able to work with the Park District. particularly Michelle, because she's a great collaborator. As Gail mentioned, the township has invested in child care and youth programming for more than 3 decades, beginning in 1992. At that time, the scholarships covered daycare only, defined as birth through age 5, with an initial $47,000 budget that served 40 children. In 2000, our township board approved an additional $10,500 to expand the program and include before and after school and summer camp scholarships serving children 6 to 13. But the initial camp scholarships were modest. In 2006, for example, Ouilmette Park District received $1,570 in scholarships for 6 children. Over the years, the camp budget and the number of children receiving scholarships has grown substantially. The township's FY 2026-2027 summer camp scholarship budget was $100,000, an amount that is over 51% of the combined $195,000 budget for all 3 scholarship programs. Parents applying for scholarship assistance must meet eligibility requirements. They must either be currently employed or seeking employment or attending school or attending a training program on either a full or a part-time basis, and they must meet income eligibility requirements based on a percentage of the 2026 federal poverty level. This summer, the township dispersed approximately $54,000 in camp scholarships to 30 children from 20 families. So those children could enjoy summer camp experiences offered by 5 different licensed programs. Of that total scholarship disbursement, 22 children received approximately $48,000 to attend Ouilmette Park District camps. The township has always required that families apply for any available funding from their camp programs, including any scholarship assistance available from the Ouilmette Park District. And this summer, the Ouilmette Park District contributed approximately $38,000 to make a combined township and park district contribution of approximately $84,000 in scholarship assistance. Our collaboration covered the total financial burden for families, many of whom were single working parents whose children's ages required supervised childcare during the summer. My kids are in their 30s, but I remember what that was like. You got to take care of them before you can work. So thus, of the 20 families receiving township camp scholarship assistance this summer, 65% are single parents. Their average family income, just slightly over $40,000. And imagine what that's like in these communities to try to manage on that. And to me, the most important, the average age of the children receiving scholarship assistance, 8.5 years. So, again, we appreciate the chance to work together to make this possible. And Gail, you remember we had a mom come in just the other day, and thank you, because she said without that, her kids wouldn't have gone to camp. So, again, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Before you step down, just trust me, I practiced this 90 seconds, but I just, on behalf of the board, Ouilmette Park District, and we want to thank Eugene, Heather, who's also here, and Supervisor Eisenberg for your generosity and partnership. We don't take this contribution for granted. At a time when resources from the county, state, and federal partners are increasingly uncertain, we recognize their ability to support programs like this may be affected by forces beyond your control. That makes your support today all more meaningful. We don't take your trust for granted. Every scholarship dollar that you provide reflects the confidence in the Ouilmette Park District, that the Ouilmette Park District will use these funds wisely and in a way that truly benefits the residents we both serve. We are grateful for that confidence, and we work hard every day to earn it. We don't take our shared purpose for granted. While our organizations serve the community in different ways, we're both working towards the same goal, improving the health, the well-being, and quality of life for the people who call New Trier Township home, of which all of Ouilmette is. That's why our partnership works so well. And we don't take this partnership for granted. The scholarship program is one example of what we can accomplish together. We We've partnered with the community blood drives and other initiatives, and I know we'll continue to find new ways to serve our residents. Because of your generosity, families who need a helping hand can send their children to before and after school care camp, sports, and other programs where they make friends, they build confidence, and create lifelong memories. Together, we're helping keep Ouilmette a welcoming community where every family has an equal opportunity to participate. So on behalf of everyone up here, thank you for your generosity, your confidence, and your partnership. We're grateful for your support and look forward to continuing this important work together. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very well said.
Well, got one more.
All right.
So, a presentation from the Ouilmette Foundation. I also wrote something out, Lindsay, so.
Perfect. I wrote a little bit as well. Good evening, Lindsay Anderson. I serve as president of the Ouilmette Foundation. I'm here to also talk about the scholarships and demonstrate support. But first, it's really great to be back, having served with many of you. Just know firsthand the commitment that goes into serving, and just know from just experiencing the parks, just that they're not so wonderful by accident. Know that so much goes into all of that, your service, your leadership, your time, your commitment. I'm so grateful to all of you for your service, but also grateful to enjoy the parks from a different perspective now in my new role. So second, I want to share just a little bit of background on the Ouilmette Foundation, because we've had a lot of great work going on, and I see some new faces as well. So we're a charitable organization that raises private funds to help enhance parks and facilities and support access to recreational programs. Our roots actually go back to the 80s. Some of our projects over the years, just a couple of examples, improvements in partnership on the K Nature Center, the migratory bird habitat. We're currently supporting efforts to preserve and restore the Wallace Bowl, just to give a few examples. But also, as part of our work, we get to host a few events throughout the year. We recently hosted the Ouilmette Open Water Swim on June 13th, which was a great event. Looking ahead, we have our annual summer event coming up. For those of you who don't know the history of the event, it's typically been around the beach. It's bounced around a little bit from parking lot to the Wallace Bowl to the beach. But this year, on Saturday, August 1st, we're actually returning to the beach, to the patio and the sand. While this is a fundraiser, we're really hopeful that this is an opportunity to really bring the community out and together. And if you haven't experienced the sunset at Gilson around sunset time, this is a great excuse to come and do just that. Not only raising money, but we'll have great music and dancing for this event, and hopefully sunset views. And actually, the ticket price is only $25 a person this year, so we'd love to see you all there. You can find more details on our website, although if you visit the Ouilmette Foundation online, and you'll see that Ouilmette is spelled with an O, O-U-I. We have a temporary website, so stay tuned for a new website. We're really excited. We're also going to have a new name soon for more consistency with the Ouilmette Park Board. We'll be soon spelled with a W, the Ouilmette Parks Foundation, so stay tuned. We are working hand in hand with the Park Board. Thanks, President Leahy, just for your time, just for all you're doing to strengthen our relationship through just really more strategic alignment and collaboration. Super grateful to you and the whole team, Chris and Lindsay, that we're working with. But speaking of partnerships, one of the ways that we partner is through the same scholarships program, but with a fund. So I'm here officially on behalf of the foundation to share our support. So I actually have our donation for $25,000 for the scholarship fund to support our neighbors. So thanks again for all that you do. Great to see you all.
Thank you,
Thank
Lindsay.
you.
Thank you, and thank you. I'll give this, I shouldn't have that. Thank you to the foundation for your generosity and partnership. So Lindsay, Chris, and I talked about whether to have these contributions together, and whether we should separate them, and because each deserves their own merit and their own moment. Sorry. But the more we talked, the more I realized, and we realized how complementary we are, that while the township is our institutional partner that invests in our mission, the foundation is a group of community members investing in that same mission, different organizations, but united by the same belief that everyone should have access to what the Ouilmette Park District has to offer, especially with the scholarship program. So, and I had a chance to speak with President Anderson, and your willingness to share the spotlight is representative of the foundation itself. The focus has never been about recognition. It's always been about making Ouilmette a better place through the Park District. So grateful for that. Having served on the foundation board, I know firsthand how hard this is and how much goes into this work. I know these events just don't kind of show up. You don't, right? You don't have the WOW swim tomorrow for no reason. So every race, every fundraiser, every event is built by volunteers who give their evenings, weekends, and their energy and talent because they care deeply about this park district. So your support today, which we didn't mention, is 25% more than last year. And obviously, we take nothing for granted, and they're incredibly generous as a result of all that hard work, all the mornings set up for the WOW swims, the late nights at the Coneflower, and the countless conversations. This is important to me, the countless conversations you've had with friends and neighbors that inspire people to participate, give back, join your events, and support the Park District. The foundation is not just about supporting it, you deliver for us, right? And that because of your work, children go to camp, families gather in our parks, and projects become reality, and opportunities exist that otherwise wouldn't. So thank you for your generosity, but even more, thank you for your time. And thank everyone on your board for their time. Money makes projects possible, but it's the volunteerism, which we bring to the table, your enthusiasm and your belief in this community that make the foundation so special. So we're all incredibly grateful for everything you do, and we look forward to seeing you on the 1st. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, I'm going to close public comment unless you want to speak, Olson. Not today? All right, I'll get you next time. All right, so 5.0.
5.1.
5.1.
Okay, 5.1. I move to approve the pool slide bid for Centennial Pool in the amount of $56,704.
I'll second. All right, discussion. Chris?
Josh is here. This is an item that we've had on our capital plan since last summer, and again, we have communicated about the pool closure dates that we always have to, although we've been fortunate to be able to extend the season a little bit for lap swimmers, we always have to look at our staffing levels, and they change, and they're drastically changing over the last few years as far as staff availability. And so alongside those challenges, we have deferred maintenance and things like that must take place at the pool in order to have this incredible asset that we have that is so busy on hot days like today. And so one of those projects that we have in front of us now is the pool slide. Resurfacing of the pool slide is here. Josh is here for any additional questions.
I have a question. In the chart that you have for the different bids, you've got base bid and you've got alternate one, and we're going with alternate one. Can you tell us what the base bid was and what alternate one is?
Correct. The base bid was to do the inside and the outside surfaces on all 4 slides. The alternative from this vendor was to not do the interior of the slides on 3 of the slides, so the 2 diving well and the covered slide. The reason for that is the current OEM manufacturer gel coating on the interior is in really good shape to go into the field and sand that down and put a field applied coating would not be as durable as the manufacturer OEM. So that's why we opted to go with the alternative, because of the condition of the interior of the slides.
And can you just speak to the range of proposals that you got? I mean, the price range is pretty significant.
Yes, so we have, as you can see, based on the document, there are 2 that are in pretty close range, a third that is relatively close, and then we do have one vendor that is $187,000 more than the third highest bid. So what I can say with the lowest responsive bidder, I did reach out to all the references. Some are local, some are regional, and every one of them gave a really good rave review on their ability and how good of a contractor they are.
So I'm sorry, but what you explained was 3 of the slides, there's 4 slides.
Yep.
And 3 of the slides don't need interior resurfacing, so
Correct.
1 does.
Correct.
But it's only a $3,000 difference between the base bid and the alternate. So to do those 3 slides was $3,000.
That's not
So
uncommon,
it's-
unfortunately.
It seems like it's.
They're also gonna, they're also what, so they're not gonna do that full process, but what they are gonna do is wax and buff, so there is a good
Oh, so there still
amount-
is interior
There's
work
some
going on.
labor involved, but the quality of that coating, we're never gonna be able to get. And because it's on the inside, right, naturally, it's a little more protected from the elements.
Yeah, just, I mean, you can see.
I
where I'm going.
I agree.
Yeah, you know, I didn't realize there was additional work on the interior that was still going to happen on those 3 slides, right? That were not researched, but the 1 is being addressed because somehow it has not held up as well as the others. Correct?
It's open to the elements. It's the open slide, so it gets all the UV.
The light slide, as the kids call it.
The light slide. All right, I'm not a kid anymore. I used to be. All right, I'm good with it. Thank you for answering. Appreciate it.
Anyone else?
I just am appreciative of us discussing this and specifically the work that goes into the maintenance of the pool. I think I certainly was unaware as a heavy user of the pool before coming onto the board, the staffing needs that we have there and the incredible dip that we experience when college kids and high school kids who make up the majority of our seasonal staff there return to school. And that it is a safety issue for keeping it open for longer, and add to that then maintenance projects like this that need to be done while the weather still permits. It's afforded me more patience and understanding with why we have to keep the pool hours and season to what it is. So I think communication on this is important.
I wrote communicate and I underlined it 3 times. I think we should just hyper communicate this issue, given especially some of the correspondence we received. Also, because it's a compelling answer, and I put these slides through a rather rigorous high speed run on Friday night with my sons, and well, like there's a line at 6, 7 o'clock at night on a Friday for kids to use these, and for $60,000 to make sure that these can last another half generation. It's money well spent, especially when you look at the outside of the some of these slides. They don't inspire a ton of confidence. So I'm grateful we're doing this. Again, we should just communicate. So I'm happy to support this. And Chris, can I get a roll call?
Yes. Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Adrianopoli.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Goebel.
Yes.
Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
So Commissioner Leahy, I'm just going to say, now that this work is going to be done,
Yeah.
it's going to be done in the fall, right?
Yes.
So next year,
Yes.
when you're getting aggressive on these slides, careful, because you're going to be
Aggressive.
like Clark Griswold flying down the
I
snow hill.
I literally have hurt my shoulder doing it. 1 and 2. When I heard you were going to sand and recoat the insides of these, I was like, yes, I am fully supporting.
Because you got the nicks each
I am
section.
out there.
Oh.
It's a problem, people. I'm sorry. All right, moving on to 6.0, new business. 6.1, consideration of golf course irrigation well repair.
I move to approve the golf cart irrigation well repair in the amount of $54,163.
I'll second.
Chris, we have a nice memo from Adam in the packet. Unfortunately, couldn't join us tonight, but is there anything? My understanding is that the reason this is above budget is because we're doing a little more work.
That's a piece of it. I mean, the budgeting, as we're budgeting for capital and doing that in the fall of the year prior, we're going off of numbers that people think are good, and we add a little bit to it, but not much. And so, we've had some, although fuel's coming down a little bit, those things make a big difference for some of these contractors. So that's part of it, and that we are doing more of a full replacement. That is, if we're getting into the well, it makes sense to do so.
I mean, I'm appreciative that it's the same crew that did such a great job on the fly last year.
Agreed.
So with that, I fully support it. Will you call a roll?
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Adrianople.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Yes.
Commissioner Goebel. Yes. Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Excellent. 6-2, also at the golf course, consideration of the golf cart lease.
I move to approve the golf cart lease in the amount of $77,973 per year for the next 6 years.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so this one's interesting. You want to
Sure.
talk to the public real quick about it?
Yeah. All right. So the golf cart, our golf cart fleet, I guess, is 70 golf carts, and it was on our capital plan to start the replacement next year. These carts have had batteries replaced, parts fixed and repaired, so we've extended the life on these carts, and they're due for an upgrade. And we actually had the vendor reach out to us saying that there was another golf course that they had purchased these carts for, and they were going to take it on, and they backed out of their deal last minute. And so they reached out to a couple of park districts and courses and basically said, we have a discounted lease for you. It'll save us $10,000 a year for the next 6 years. And so we just had to push that up in our, we'll make one payment in late summer, I guess early fall, on the carts, and that will afford us the savings over the term of the lease. What's great about these, as these are lithium batteries, there's only one battery. The previous carts had 6 different batteries in them, so these are going to be more efficient. They're going to take less energy to charge and should run a little bit longer, believe it or not. So it seemed like a win-win. The only downside is we didn't get to pick the color, but we like it, and so it was a good thing to land in our laps. And that's why you have it in front of you today, because we do see a significant savings and it fits a need now. And on top of that, we have a good trade-in amount on the older carts as well that we were pleased to see.
Do you want to mention the?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this is just one in a series of decisions the district has made with respect to these carts that saved money for us again and again and again. These carts were the carts we're trading in now were scheduled to be replaced a number of years ago at a substantially higher number than what we ended up spending by just replacing the batteries. So I think Adam and his staff have done a great job of extending the life, and it was certainly time. That's why we were ready to make the change next year, and so for us to accelerate by a year and realize some additional savings is just phenomenal. So I couldn't be happier about this.
I reiterate that statement.
I mean, I remember looking at a capital where the expense was off the charts. So what they've done is pretty extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Agreed.
All right. Can I get a roll?
Commissioner Duffy.
Yes.
Commissioner Adrianople.
Yes.
Commissioner Frazier.
Yes.
Commissioner Clark.
Yes.
Commissioner Murdoch.
Aggressive. I mean, yes.
Commissioner Goebel. Yes. Commissioner Leahy.
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Excellent. 7.0 staff reports. I believe everything's written tonight.
Correct.
Except the executive directors.
Yeah, I get to say some of mine.
Oh yeah, I've got some stuff on that.
Okay. All right, so we've got some exciting updates. The recreation feasibility study that we went through a wonderful process to choose White & Company. We have a signed agreement with them, and we have our first kickoff meeting this week. And so we're super excited. We're going to start laying out the schedule, and we'll start kind of pushing some of these key dates out to the community, and as we had mentioned before, this is really a community-focused project, and so we're excited to see not only what White & Company will bring, but also what our residents will share with us. And so we're going to do our best to get the word out as far as we can, to hear as much as we can from the community. Summer season updates, 3rd of July event. Unfortunately, all we got in was an awesome race. The weather was actually beautiful for the race, and it was great to see even some people sitting up here partake in the race. The smiles were massive, and then we had some storms. And so as much as our team plans and puts things in place, unfortunately, we don't have a crystal ball, but I did want to thank Dave and his team, Josh and his team, the village. I mean, it is such a team effort from not only the park district, but our community partners, which made it challenging to find ways to kind of recreate the 3rd of July. So after a ton of talk and looking at all kinds of options, we're actually really excited. We're working through the logistics and details, but we're moving towards a drone show at the block party, and so that is something that, again, we have so many community partners. In order to make any event like this safe, we have to have them on board, and our talks with the village and village staff have been incredibly promising, and I think everyone's excited to bring a unique experience to our second largest community event, where it is in the center of town, more so where it's more accessible, and we have still some details to plan out, but we are feeling pretty confident at this point that we're going to be able to make that happen. And as soon as which will be this week, we will communicate heavily with the community to let them know all the details that we can share.
Right, so we're knocking on wood because this is a complex thing and a lot of moving parts. But it's going to work.
And I just want to make one comment, or just, to Josh and to the Parks Department, that, that the morning of the race and looking out over the field, and, just the garbage cans were just, placed like into the rows. It was just, I know, it was just very impressive. I'd never noticed that before when I showed up, but just the lines and just making sure they were within, a certain distance from where people would be staying. It just, I guess I'd never really noticed that before.
It's a complicated event that takes 10 months to prepare for. And I think we'd all love to snap our fingers and say, we're going to do a fireworks show at this day, this time. The realistic part of it is that's not really practical. So, but staff's working their...
A lot of parts to do the
staff is working very hard.
Yeah.
And I would mention that the July 3rd bands were able to play at the Ouilmette Theater, so that all worked out okay too.
Sorry to derail.
That's all right. The foundation I put in here, as we heard, the foundation event, Sunset Over the Beach, August 1. Another plug, don't forget, 7 to 9:30 p.m. at Gilson. The block party that we had just talked about is August 29th from noon to 10 p.m. Mark your calendars. It's going to be a special year. It is the 5th year of the block party, and it just keeps getting better. And so, Lindsay, I know you work really hard and alongside the village, and so we're super excited about what this year can bring.
Can I, real quick, I wanted to mention the sensory swim, Dave. Like, I had another set of positive feedback about that. It's really special. Like, what is it, 20 people, maybe 30 kids sign up, and it's the pool's all for them. I love that comment. Just out of nowhere, how special it was. And then also I had a comment about the beach, Gilson Beach overnight. Was that last weekend? I mean, these little things you don't really hear about, and then you hear about them, and it's like, this is the best. Like, this is exactly what you do.
My kids did it. It was so much fun.
Sorry, I know you didn't know.
Yeah, that could have been in the report.
It was, and we read these things, and they're great, and I just wanted to bring those things up.
And this is when we sometimes mention items that were discussed in public comment. So I just had a couple. First off, Ron's comments. We saw his pictures, and I obviously don't know what the safety requirements are. Certainly, the signage right by the Lakeview Center. It seems like they're a couple of feet apart, and to the extent that we could look into that, if it's meet safety requirements and whatnot. So if you would get back to us after you met with him and find out what's allowed. And then with Scott Crone, I think he mischaracterized the conversation that he and I had. Just to correct the record, I did reach out to him to discuss ways that we might be able to save money on capital spending. That's something that's always been very important to me. Chris, you and I have had countless conversations about it as well. But I think he described the purpose of the conversation a little bit differently. So.
All right. Moving on, we have a compensation study that's out to RFQ, and we've done something a little differently and have partnered with our neighbors in Glenview so that we can not only learn from each other as we're looking at both the job classifications and compensation, along with a number of other important factors for keeping and retaining our staff. And so I think that's really exciting, and to be able to work with our peers, save a little bit on the cost of a study that's going to be somewhat similar, and we'll also have the added benefit of kind of learning how someone may do something a little differently. Doesn't mean that we will, but it just opens our eyes to that. So I just wanted to mention that. And again, on here was thanking both the foundation and the township for tonight. Quickly on some staff report highlights. The team puts a lot of time into their updates, so there's a lot of great information in those reports. So I encourage those of you that haven't read them to read them. Centennial Cooling Tower is a big one that we've talked about a lot. That kicked off. There was a ton of trucks in the parking lot, and there's a massive generator that's in place so that ComEd can do the initial work, which is running a new electric line to the transformer, replacing the transformer. That is at their cost on the transformer side to upgrade their equipment, and then the cooling tower project work will start after that. And in here we had a note in the report that the cooling tower is scheduled to show up on sometime in early October, after having been ordered early on this year. Again, we're working with the contractor, and Josh is doing a great job of communicating, not only with working with Dave and his team, but also with the contractor on finding ways to shorten the shutdown time frame. So just being intentional on that project for the most minimal disruption possible, but at some point there will be. The park crews are working really hard. Even on hot days like this, they're outside working. And I'm always impressed with how much they do and how much professional work they're able to do. One of the things was adding a plaque to the stone for the National Historic Landmark at Gilson. We had an email about that, and we already had it in the works in the same location it was asked about. And so, it's just a good example of what they do. And then on the building team, they get to be inside on the hot days most of the time, unless they're on a rooftop. Just working through in the last month, we talked about LED conversions. They're done over at Centennial, and they had some pool mechanical repairs, and all this work continues to happen in the background. So thank you to the parks team.
Chris, can I make a comment related to the parks team too? So I live near the corner of Sheridan and Central, and there is a big flower bed that had probably been damaged. Maybe somebody ran into it. So they were out there repairing this, but there is along the sidewalk there are swooping blackbird warning signs. And so as they're out there repairing this and planting, the swooping blackbirds wouldn't stop going, and they were kind of laughing about it, but you could see like they were dodging it. So I just want to say kudos to
the village should do something about it.
To the team who was out there doing those repairs under such conditions, respecting our nature and our ordinance around the swooping blackbirds, and it looks great.
All right, quickly on golf. We've had more rain days than sunny days in June, and we still continue to outperform budget. The course has stayed in great shape. So again, we've talked about that, but kudos to the team that does a lot of that work. They when we get these rains, they pay attention to where the tough spots are, and they attack them in the off season. So kudos to that. Just another plug: the U.S. Women's Amateur Qualifier had competitors from all over the world. And we had, again, rave reviews on the course's shape from those competitors. And we also did some driving range renovations that we've been wanting to do for quite some time, as far as removing some of the bunkers and working on some netting. On the recreation side, it's hard to summarize all of that briefly here when we're in the middle of summer. But programming is definitely in full swing. Camps are bustling. And we're operating successfully across the district. We have strong growth in several programs, including early childhood camps, camp innovation, team camp, t-ball, and sports camp. Rec facilities and programs continue to change with the community needs. We had a successful sensory swim that I also agree is just really innovative thinking and great programming. Talk about serving people, going to people's needs. I think that's just amazing. As well as, on the ice side, we have a new partnership with New Trier girls hockey team. and also with some improvements to tennis, pickleball, arts, dance, and fitness offerings. Always looking to push the envelope and listen and change. Beach and pool are overall doing really well. Strong pass sales this far into the season. Again, I just wanted to take the time to recognize staff, recognize Sarah, recognize Megan for their very aggressive training that they do of staff. I mean, they work really, really hard and take it very serious. And if you go to our pools and you go to our beach and you see how vigilant the staff, the lifeguard staff are, it's really impressive. At the beach, we had, a really impressive save by some of our guards, as well as, just an incident at the pool where someone was hurt. And it wasn't only the staff that was well trained to care, but it was also the personal touch that they had to connect with someone who was, crying and struggling to relate to them. So I just wanted to point those two things out. On the operational side, again, tons and tons of training, retraining, and one of the neat training opportunities we had was a joint community reunification training with all of our community partners, and I mean all of them. And it was every school, every local government body all came together with the same purpose for training together and learning how we handle incidents throughout the community and how we can have aligned language. Thank you to District 39 who actually took the lead on that, and we're happy to be a part of that and continue to see how that evolves. The marketing team, again, if you look in your staff reports in the packet, there's a lot of really great data that's in there around how our marketing and communications team continues to get improvement in our website engagement, social media, and email performance.
It's really like the fact that the page views are Lakefront, Gilson Park, Pool Schedule, Centennial, Aquatics, and then those are 18,000 each, and then 4,000 for Sounds of Summer. I thought it was interesting that those are it shows what people are looking right now, and it should be really informative to us. It's great data. I've said this 1,000 times.
I liked all the staff skits, the little posts that the staff were actually planning out little skits. They were super funny, and I thought they did a good job.
Mm-hmm. All right, lastly, finance. We're not leaving Sheila out. The district remains in strong financial position, finishing ahead of budget, driven by lower than budget expenses and continued strength in memberships and rentals despite our favorite property tax delays. Although it's small, that number adds up, and that's so it's nice to see that we're performing well on top of that. And then following the meeting where we approved the annual comprehensive financial report, Sheila got to file that with about 100 different agencies, and it's not just send it off to the county and you're done. I mean, it really is a lot of work to get it off to multiple entities. And then again, we had a great discussion around the capital reserve funding procedure that we will continue to work through. And that concludes my report.
That's great. Commissioners, any questions? All right, seeing none, moving on to 8.0.
Move to adjourn the regular board meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners this July 13th, 2026.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye. All right, we're closed. Thank you, everybody. It's 8:30.